Anil is a new joiner at Airtel. Ravina is a manager at Airtel. Anil is reporting to Ravina. They decides to discuss about policies like conflict of interest, code of conduct and POSH. Let's see how the conversation goes.
Now, let's discuss the third important policy, which is the prevention of sexual harassment, POSH. The POSH policy is in place to ensure a safe and respectful environment for everyone.
Sure, ma'am.
Before we start with POSH policy, let me explain you what is sexual harassment.
Sure.
Sexual harassment at the workplace means when someone does or says things about sex that make another person feel uncomfortable, scared, or upset. This could include things like making unwanted advances, asking for sexual favors, or making inappropriate comments or jokes, making the work environment feel unsafe or unfriendly. If someone makes you feel like you have to go along with their inappropriate behavior, or if they make you feel bad for saying no, that's still sexual harassment.
That's informative. Is it a government policy?
Yes, it's a government policy. Let me explain you how it is written in our constitution. Back in 2013, the Indian government introduced a law called the Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act. It's all about putting a stop to sexual harassment at work. This law spells out exactly what counts as sexual harassment and lays down rules to make sure complaints are dealt with fairly and without any bias.
Please share me an example.
Sure. Imagine Anita, a sales representative for Airtel, out on her field visits. She's noticing something not quite right with her colleague, Arjun. He's constantly crossing the line, making inappropriate comments, invading personal space, and even hanging around after hours. Anita knows this behavior isn't okay, especially according to the POSH Act. But Anita isn't staying silent. Even in the hustle and bustle of the field, the POSH Act ensures that every Airtel employee feels safe and respected. So, Anita speaks up. She reports Arjun's behavior to HR, making sure that everyone, whether they're in the office or out on the field, is protected from harassment.
That's really informative. What kind of behaviors are considered as harassment, and who all can be victims or harassers under this policy?
Let me tell you about them one by one. Sexual harassment includes any one or more of the following unwelcome acts or behavior, whether directly or by implication: physical contact, an advances, a demand or request for sexual favors, making sexually colored remarks, watching or showing pornography, any other unwelcome verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. Anyone at Airtel, like employees, partners, or associates, could be a victim, and someone doing harm is called a harasser. Let me explain it to you with help of an example. Imagine Raj, who works with Airtel prepaid team, often says mean things and irritates Rani, his teammate. This makes the market a not so nice place for Rani. Here, Rani is the one being hurt and will be termed as victim, and Raj is the one causing the problem. He will be termed as harasser.
How do we report POSH?
First off, talk to them. Let them know their behavior isn't cool. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can inform someone you trust, like another colleague.
Got it. And what about the POSH policy?
Good point. Check out our POSH policy. It's like a guide on how we should all treat each other. It helps you understand what behavior is considered not okay.
And what if things don't get better?
If it persists, reach out to your supervisor or our HR department. They're here to help. They'll guide you on what to do next.
Should I keep a record?
Definitely. If you can, jot down what's happening, when it's happening, and any messages or communication about it. It might come in handy during an investigation.
Investigation?
Yeah, if needed, there might be an investigation. If that happens, just cooperate fully. Share any info you have to help sort things out.
And what's the end goal?
The investigation will lead to a resolution. Based on that, the necessary steps will be taken to make things right.
Thanks, Ravina. That's really helpful.
No problem. We're all here to make sure everyone feels comfortable and respected. If you ever need help, just reach out. We are a team.
What happens if someone complains?
When someone raises a complaint against a colleague, boss, or client, we take this seriously to make sure we get it right.
Okay, Ravina. What's the process?
Good question, Anil. When a complaint is lodged, we don't jump to conclusions. We thoroughly examine it to prevent any misjudgment. No quick actions are taken without a proper investigation.
That makes sense. So, what if someone intentionally makes a false accusation?
Great question. If someone deliberately makes a false accusation, there are consequences. They could face administrative action, and depending on how serious it is, the organization might even terminate them.
Got it. So, we are serious about being fair in both directions.
Absolutely, Anil. It's all about fairness. We want to make sure we investigate complaints thoroughly, but we also take intentional false accusations seriously. It's about maintaining a workplace that's respectful and just for everyone. Now, let's talk about something important. What if someone makes a false accusation? It's crucial to address that too.
Absolutely, Ravina. What do we do in such cases?
Good question, Anil. First off, we've got this process in place. We create a clear policy that everyone knows about. It lays out how we handle things when there's a complaint, and that includes false accusations.
Got it. So, everyone is aware of this policy?
Exactly. We make sure all employees know about it. Communication is key. We want everyone to feel safe and supported, whether they're making a complaint or being accused falsely.
And what about the support system?
Great point. We have a support system in place. It's like a safety net for our employees. They should be aware that they can reach out for help if they need it.
What about the Internal Complaints Committee, ICC?
The ICC. That's an essential part. We have this committee at the workplace. It's like a team of people who look into complaints seriously and fairly. If someone feels they're falsely accused, the ICC steps in to figure out the truth.
That sounds fair. So, the process is in place to handle false accusations too?
Absolutely. We want to make sure everything is fair and just. The policy, the support system, and the ICC, they all work together to ensure that we address any situation, even if it's a false accusation, in a transparent and unbiased way.
Can you share an example?
Sure, let's imagine Sheena says Rahul did something wrong at work. The company checks it out because that's what they do under their special work rules, POSH policy. But when they look into it, they find out Sheena's story isn't true, and there's no proof to show Rahul did anything wrong. So, Sheena might get in trouble for saying something that isn't true, and Rahul did a good job cooperating during the investigation.
Thank you, Ravina ma'am. That was very informative and simple to understand.
I am happy you have clear understanding on all the policies. Make sure you adhere to all of them.
Sure, promise.